You had Moderna all three? Yeah, it was like all Pfizer. I was full beans next again day. As apart from the sore arm, was like, I'm wonderful. Oh, the first one's the only one you didn't have a reaction to. Come on, Garuda. Can we pay you? Can we be nice to you? Do we whisper sweet nothings? And, oh, that's still not a Garuda. But why? Why would I get a free coupon for free haggis? Oh, you get your booster next Monday. I feel sorry for people who decided to get it that close to Christmas, like before it. If they... Oh! Oh, not good. An ambush? No! Oh. I didn't do much anyway. Yeah, then we're getting bad side effects.
It's over.
I don't know what number we're at for the Garuda. Split up by age, below 40ish Pfizer only, below 70 something's Moderna, and 70 plus people, I guess, Astra. My parents didn't get AstraZeneca for their booster. They had it for the first 2 shots. But I think is Astra like the Johnson & Johnson not the worst ones for the Omicron version? I never got a choice in what I got. Hello, JK. How you doing? Just saying I'm old. I went into there, right? Okay, so it was weird. So there was a queue for people for walk-ins, and then there was a queue for appointments. And I'd rearranged my appointment from 7th of January to the Sunday just passed. And so standing there and getting registered, so there was a woman at the front with a laptop. She was taking details. They took my details and the next person, and then the 2 people after that ended up going in front of the person who was behind me. So they didn't get their details taken by the woman with the laptop. It was really weird. There was no sense to anything. And I got told to, like, when this guy moves forward, you stand there and then he'll take you there. But people behind me kept going the other way. Yeah. You never got a choice? Yeah, I think it was like an age-based thing. Oh, you're only up to your second one. Oh, I'm forgetting. You're in the younger crowd, aren't you? As well. Just well, oh no, I don't know how they were doing it elsewhere. Are you younger? I'm gonna say most people are younger than me. I always get the really chatty dude at the local stores at the self-service, and he needs to authorize like the energy drinks. And he was like, "Oh, are you old enough?" I think so. If it was 18, I'm like, I was thinking I'm probably older than you, but he's a year older than me. Oh, are you 44? You turn 45 in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be 10 years younger in how many weeks? How many weeks is it until the 10th? I'm thinking 2 weeks. No, it's usually like 2 weeks, kind of around Christmas time. 3 weeks. In 3 weeks. Oh no. And I was like, did I get the right age? Have I stolen from you already? Yeah, I have done, haven't I? Oh, January the 1st is your birthday! I hope you get your own celebration. Even though it's New Year. Oh. People that close to Christmas. It's like, no, you get your own birthday. I know, the 1st, the 6th, and the 10th. I'm sure there's a nerd like around my age floating around in chat. I think Snake is same age as me? And Izza? Oh, you feel brain age older? Is it Poker Rules? If we find people who connect us together, we would win a prize. Maybe? What would the prize be? We'll legally change your name to Bob. There we go. No, actually, no. We're not going with that. Ever. Oh, Archangel? I don't know. I think maybe a bit younger. I was an Archangel in ages. But then with them bringing in people changing their names on Twitch, I know there's some that have changed their names and I'm like, who were you before? It's like, I know you've been around for ages, but who were you before? Ooh.
It's over.
Oh, we're still not at 10 yet? Yeah, he did, didn't he? Casper's Peacemaker now. Gonna change yours to be elbow licking boon picker. Are we going with licking or liquor? Elbow licker, boon picker. To get the rhyming stuff going on as well. I just need the Garuda. I'm good for everything else. Well, in this zone. I'm only in the 4th area of 13. And it's only going to get more difficult because it's like progressing through where the story went through originally. So going back and collecting them all has like been relatively easy. Just actually getting them to spawn is the issue now. President, yes, she has them already. Well, hasn't opened them, but they're at my sister's. She's got a little guitar. And a soft toy, like, pet carrier. But it makes noises, and you can put a soft toy pet inside it. I don't know. It's supposed to be a cat. And some other things. Lord of the Rings is 20 years old. The Funko Pop cat. No. Oh man, what are you doing to me, game? Where is this? Toy Story 26. I can't wait to the cinema to see that. But I forget some of the older animated things are pretty old as well. The cartoons, Disney stuff. I'm like, wait, really? That old? Huh? And more often than not, it's not the quality because they'll be able to like clean it up and whatever. It's usually the style. Then kind of gives away the age more than anything else. A transition term? Zoomillennial. Oh no. See, when it came to like toys and cartoons, I maybe didn't see much of the older stuff, but when it came to toys, because I had my brother's toys and my sister's toys, whatever they had just got passed down. Like, you know, old He-Man and something Star Wars related. I don't know. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm after. Cool. The Garuda is done, so everything from the Mushroom Rock Road has been captured 10 times for each thing. Well, I said that, yeah, because there was more than one thing, so I just went by He-Man. What's the last one, Kenobi? Teddy RLX Spin? Oh wait, shit, did I? I will be right back. Won't be too long. A couple of minutes or so. Go. Da, da, da. Sounds like a fluffy Beyblade. Wait, too old for Pogs? Oh, I had Pogs and Tazos, which were like Walker's version. So they're in crisp packets. They got banned in your school? I was talking beer. Oh! TV showing a stuffed animal and a talking bear when you put a cassette in him. Only Pog. Only Pogs people know today is a silly face. Yeah. I actually think I need to stay in that area. Huh. Do, 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 do. But I'd still have the Pogs that I had and Tazos. I just still had the other set. I used to have a Star Wars one. Which, while I don't like it, someone probably would have been like, hey, I want to add that to my collection for whatever reason. That I wouldn't have had an attachment to. My dad ended up with it. I can just attack you guys now, can't I?
It's over.
No, so when I was a kid, it was mostly... You had those. You had the yo-yos that had the mechanism in them that made them spin for ages at the bottom. Oh, are there any Dark Aeons here? I don't know. Are your parents bought you He-Man Castle and Snake Island?
Take that.
You had He-Man Castle too. Please, please no Dark Aeon. Please no Dark Aeon. Oh, was this the Basilisk? Okay. Oh no. Right, we'll start a search here because it goes into the Moonflow, which is the next section as well. I haven't done any capturing this time around for this one. Don't know what the games are when you had Nintendo and can't adjust settings and difficulty. I had a Sega, you can't adjust the difficulty for most of those either. They're the same enemies. One kid who's a machinist had him machine up a slammer out of, oh, billet lead. It was like an inch and a quarter thick and heavy as hell, only used it once or twice. Because it's, oh, mango, the top third of the stack right to shit, really?
Booyah.
They were usually just plastic, those ones, weren't they? Never anything more than that. So we're after a Garm, a Smurg? Simurg, a Bite Bug, a Snowflan, a Bunyip, a Basilisk, and an Ochu. Oh, here we go! Oh no! Ooh. Actually, no, let's steal. Petrified Grenade.
Take that.
Cool. We can start news. You're not supposed to mill your own slammer with depleted uranium. Do you have probably... Oh, Poison Fang. Okay, do that one. He started out with aluminium, then moved on to steel, and then somebody had to take it too far. So that was a Bite Bug, was it? There's enemies from the last section in here, and I didn't realize that. Like, how do they know when I've reached 250 fights? Maybe when I've caught 25 of these creatures? We're sitting at 22, and some of them had like only one caught. Oh, oh, nice. Garm, Bunyip. Let's try high potion. Nah, let's just attack him. So we got our first Garm as well. We got the first Simurgh. Simurgh? And the Bunyip. So we need a Snowflan and an Ochu. Alert Targe. Good old year when life was simple. I know as a kid, it seemed like a whole lot simpler. The years just seemed to like spread out, and as you go older, the time sped up. Even though it doesn't, that's what it feels like. You don't have to worry about anything. Although I did always have a thing for a Sunday, where I hated Sunday evening, because I knew next again day was like school. That wasn't the best. It was always that, oh hey, Friday is great, Saturday is great, Sunday during the day is great, and then Sunday night I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to go.
Take that.
I feel like time moves faster as you get older. Yeah, oh, how you doing, Decam? Yeah, Friday evening's S tier, Sunday evening shares F tier with Monday morning.
It's over.
Didn't Saturday morning captions. Yeah, we did, still do. Well, I mean, there's whole channels dedicated to it, but you know, the channels that used to be the cartoons in the morning still have the cartoons in the morning. And yeah, because Monday morning was never as bad as you anticipated it being Sunday evening. 10 years old, 1 year is a 10th of your life. You're 50, 1 year is a 50th of your life. You start coming, you don't stop coming. I know. But also distances seem a lot. It's probably because you got small legs, you know. But when you're younger, when you're going anywhere, or even traveling on a bus, in car, whatever, it seems to take a lot longer than what it really does. Going anywhere, walking was like, oh. Nowadays, I'm like, why the fuck did I complain about that? I can remember being, you know, young, getting dragged uptown or whatever, going to the shops, and I'm like, why? It's like, there's nothing to it. Okay, so there's an elusive one. It's not good. So I'm sure I'd seen over in this area, maybe. Breaking to your friend's house, like 2 miles away for like Lord of the Rings. Now I drive 24 miles to work every day, and it's. Wait, what were you trying to say, Kenobi? Whinging. Oh, so are you going for one of the oh god, it's wrong person on. Damn it. Like a font? It stops accelerating at some point though. I think when people ask between the ages of 40 and 80, they roughly report the same perceived rate of time passing. Really? But it does depend on what you're doing. If you're enjoying yourself, it always goes faster. But if it's something which is boring or tedious, time has a habit of being like, well, I'm gonna make this 10 minutes feel like 10 hours. It took you 15 minutes to walk to school. Took the bus to a ride. I was to a ride home. Time can't fly when you're having fun, because years are going by faster than ever, and then miserably always. Oh no. I don't know, I can always find something nice about even a shit day. Well, depends on the factors. Oh no, not an ambush! Ooh, gonna miss there. The slaps. I'm gonna steal from you. Yeah, that's what I'm going through just now. I'm assuming the fights that we go through go towards the total for, you know, when you get Wakka's first set of reels, which I got yesterday after like 3 hours of trying to get it to show, and then I reset the data and it shows instantly. And yeah, no, that was, oh, that was an event. Yeah, so I decided, hey, I'll go back to, you know, Besaid, going through Kilika, went through Mihan High Road. And I'm hoping these count towards the 250 I need before the status reels appear. When you're a kid, everything is adventure. Aren't very many boring, forgetful days when you're sucking up information like a sponge. And then there's what happens when you're older though, is the things I enjoyed, I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's as far away as it is. Like when we were speaking about something being out, I think it was Final Fantasy 50, and I was like, is that old, really? I was like, it feels like it was just, you know, a couple of years ago. Oh, you enjoy doing the monster capturing? It's pretty relaxing, your little notepad. It's really good items. But yeah, go and show me your mum you're discovering the ice cream that expensive. And cantaloupes are spelled weird. Yeah, we're capturing Kenobi. There's something nice about this though. Like, I thought this would be really tedious, but it's not. At least the lower level ones aren't. Where I can just, you know, go and attack them and there's not really any issues.
Take that.
Yeah, there's a monster arena in here. And, you already have that. You've got the area conquest, haven't you? Which is one of every thing in an area. And then there's the capturing 10 of certain species to create other creations. Yeah, a few points where it can be tedious, but it's mostly fun. And I don't have to think about it too much, I just need to keep track of where it says, hey, you've captured all of these. And try to keep track of them for like the first in the area. Because I still need to get the Ochu and the Snowflan. But they're... Minflow. There's one which is really not one to show itself. Yeah, I only didn't do 10 of everything as far as it unlocks Nemesis. Yeah, I'm just setting myself up in good stead for potential future fighting. Because this is what happens. I'll go through a game and I'll look to see like, hey, what can I do or what can I potentially miss, and then I'll try and go out my way not to miss it so I don't have to do another playthrough. Is even doing this, even if I potentially like have the urge to play something else and I need a break from it, I'll have made progress if I do go back to it. I'm telling you, age 10 or so, you're learning new things at school, you're learning how you're human when interacting with other half-baked mini apple. Wait, why did I read that as mini apples? Mini people. Fucking hell. Teen years is a lot of figuring out what the hell emotions are and realizing that human you've become is insufferable and has to be redone. I love that. Yeah, they are. Well, this is the Josei Road. The Mushroom Rock Road was... Well, I don't know. Yeah, because... Yeah, it was a... No, I'm getting it wrong. I don't actually know where the Josei Road is. But I'm finding some of them. Yeah, it's weird because they cross over quite a few zones here, don't they? Huh. Because these are the Mushroom Rock Road monsters. But I'm getting the Josei Road ones here as well. Yeah, oh my teen years were awful. They were not fun. Oh hey, there, sorry, is that the Snowflan? Okay. Oh, here's the basilisks again. But navigating high school was a weird one. It got to later on in high school and I was like, I'm staying on till the end of 6 years because you had 4 years you had to be there for high school or secondary. And the last 2 were optional. I can't even remember if they actually said, hey, do you want to stay on? I was just like, I was going to pick some other subjects. Oh, junior, teen years, it wasn't too tortured. It was more looking back at it like I'm... Oh dear God, I was an idiot. No, I had issues with some people, which kind of sucked the life out of high school for a section. Our high school years were miserable. But most of the people left at the end of 4th year that I had issues with. So the last 2 years, they'd done the damage and fucked off. I'm like, fine, this is time for me now. Still an idiot, but I was not an idiot. An idiot like me can recognise and agonise from my relatively far greater idiocy. Stop yourself at lunch just about every day for 4 years. Oh no! Looking back on it, honestly, I would have been happy to sit by myself. It was just weird. Because you had, my school, 2 different class types. So, you went in the morning, you had registration. And the people who were in your registration, like when you got marked for being at school, they were also the same ones for science classes, music, art, PE. What else? Social education. Craft design technology. Home economics. And then you had your point class, which was for math, English, French, or other languages that we took. History, geography. I think it was those ones. So you had different groups of people that you hung out with, depending on like your class situation. Yeah, you're a class type and a mage. No. That would explain a lot though. So you weren't always hanging around with exactly the same people, and again you had different subjects. When you got to standard grade, actually no, maybe not standard grade. No, maybe it was. Huh. Jumbled up as well, yeah. And in your classes, which were like your point class, were based on how good you were at math, English, French, geography, history, and that kind of thing. So I think I was 0.4, which I went from like medium to bottom classes in primary school to the top classes in high school for whatever reason. I have no idea. And I done reasonably well in them, but that would also change who was in your point class based on the level you were at. In blocks from HE, what class you went to in each block was different for each student. I still don't know how. I nearly took so here you have 2 years of, like, you know, learning, and then you go into standard grades qualifications, and then after that, if you're in the top classes for standard grades, you go into hires, and if you're not hires, you're intermediate 1 and 2. So I was in hires for my 5th year, and then the 6th year you could do advanced hires, and I was nearly in advanced hires for computing, and it was either going to be math or physics. But I went down a different route. Although the computing one wasn't my fault. I was the only girl in a class full of boys, and I was getting into trouble because they were doing shit. But no one was like owning up to it, and I'm like, I don't want any part of this. But I'm also not going to get into shit because you're being assholes. So I was like, nah. I'm gonna go and do another column of art. Systems bonkers. It was, yeah, it's weird. I do have friends, but he wasn't very good to them. I went in as president of Nerdtopia, but I was an idiot, so I got the try to fit in bug, which meant a phase of attempting to renounce my citizenship in Nerdtopia. Oh no! Stupid because the cool kids were pretty horrible. Hey, thank you. I wasn't cool enough to sit at the Yu-Gi-Oh table? Hey, GCSEs, that's English qualifications. No, you ask me anything about any of those subjects, I'll be like, I can't remember shit about them. So I went from my 5th year being hires for math, English, computing, administration, physics, and oh no, I think that was my 5th year, and I failed English that year. So my 6th year was mainly to get English. And I had, was it dropped to 4? I think it was dropped to 4 subjects. Because I was supposed to be doing other things. So it was English, art and design. The advanced higher computing got changed to now more art and design. And philosophy, which I would have loved to continue with philosophy, but the teacher that we had back issues. So she was always off sick. And there was no other teacher who could teach it. So the alternative was wait, did I only get no, that's not right at all. No, advanced to a higher computer and went to art and design. I had philosophy, which changed to no, I didn't change anything. No, I was sitting in the class because no, that was what it was. I ended up just sitting in the class doing subjects, work for other subjects because the teacher was never there. The alternative was an afternoon at another school getting taught it. I was like, that's not the same as like 5 hours a week where I don't have to travel to an art school for philosophy. Yeah, why does everyone always talk about them British TV shows? Because it's English. If they're on about it's still about GCSEs. He's really well in the various math and science subjects. You'd be on dreadful in English. With me, English is a interpretation issue for me. They want an exact answer, and I go down the art and design by here's what I think it is and justifying that, not giving them the actual answer that they're after. You got back issues? Do pigeonholed in art? Kinda. I took it as one subject, and then because of the dudes in my class just fucking around, I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna do more. Well, I went to school, your son was decent. After that, I went off a cliff. I was too busy being a stupid teenager to focus on anything school related. But yeah, philosophy was, I would have liked to have continued that. It was nice. It was essentially headfuck. Depending on how far down the rabbit hole you went.
It's over.
It was enjoyable though. It was another one that you could write loads of shit in. And justify it. And like reference and regurgitate what you learned, just wording it differently. I'm trying to find where I had been with the, was it Simurgh? Oh, there you are! English was the only subject I did well at. Go figure, spending approximately 100% of my spare time gaming and watching YouTube. Do you have anything special because you... Oh, smoke bomb, okay. Oh. I should have went for you first. But it's fine. Too busy playing religious LAN parties. English requirements in year 9 is like third grade in English speaking countries. So here? Is this where I'm after the Simurgh? How do you pronounce that? I think out of all the classes, art and design was my favourite for being left alone to do what you wanted, and just you know, fucking around in class. I'll always remember the time. There was a craze when it came to toys, and it was a toy like egg capsule with an alien in some kind of squishy jelly-like substance that if you left it out it would harden. And someone had the alien, and when the teacher was out of the classroom, they threw it up to the ceiling. I don't know if they thought like what they thought was going to happen, and it stuck to the ceiling. So everyone knew this was there, and we're all like, how are we? Yeah, no, this is stuck up there now. I don't even know if it came down. We're all just like, oh god, if he doesn't notice, or this alien doesn't fall from the sky and hit him on the head. I made a clay ashtray. I made a clay flower pot holder. It looked like a tree trunk base. It was good. It was like roots. It was all textured. Could have sat a flower pot inside it. I never went back for it, and I should have. I never went back for any of my art stuff, and I should have. Although my dad, so I think I've mentioned before, my dad's room, he kind of hoards everything, so it's like, you know, a treasure trove of shite. Art supplies, random bits, stuff here and there. And anything else that isn't stored anywhere else. And I can't remember, I was there recently. And I can't remember what I was in the bedroom for. I went to go get something. And I was like, why have you got something I made in high school on your, like, propped up in a little frame? I was like, huh? And it was, I remember the project it was from. It was a rabbit or a hare. No, it was a hare, wasn't it? And it was to do with making a stamp design. Like, why has it got a picture of this really shitty looking hare that I made when I was, what? 14 or 15? Oh, art class is just weirdly put us when someone else needed the classroom. But my dad's also got the my final major project from the second year at college. Actually, no, he's got something from the first year as well. So yeah, my dad just kind of hoards everything. But no, this tree trunk flower pot, I wish I had gone back to get. Could have been a disaster because the teacher in question, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, is I can't even remember his name, but he was a tall, burly dude who had greying, kind of curlyish hair and a grey mustache and a beard. And he had the loudest sneeze. So you had to be careful when you were... He was, you know, in charge of ceramics and pottery and all that stuff. But you had to be careful when he was about. So you didn't get a fright when you were doing something like detailed and intricate. Yeah, the sneeze, yeah. Wait, me in video game manuals? Oh, in which shop you and your friends made baseball bats? I think that would be like equivalent to CDT. So it was craft design technology, that's what they called it. And you done like your technical drawings, you used some of the machines as well. So I made a really nice wooden box. My dad's got it. Again, he's I made a shitty plastic key ring, and I made a trowel. That was like, it was a nice looking trowel, I have to say. I don't know what happened to that either. I made a spatula. I think my mum used that as well. And there's something else. Oh, probably one of the very first thing, a shitty paint scraper, which was just like a bit of metal that looked like it had been kind of concertinaed and then pulled out just to be right angles. Yeah, you got to make knives on you. Which is 13 boy is just below building a tank on the bucket list.